You. Yes. All right. So I'm sure it's going on fine now from your end. Okay. So quickly, I'm going to share a screen with you. Apparently, practically, we have a lot of us have been on different occasions trying to make our prospecting both on social media and outside social media. That is the digital means and the traditional means. And it's been one of the most interesting journey based on the number of persons I have interacted with. All right, so I don't know, Mr. Akiolu, if you have tried digital prospecting and the traditional prospecting all together. But nevertheless, depending on the one you have actually attempted for this particular purpose, what we are going to be what we are going to be focusing on will be generally how to activate the signs of effective sales prospecting. All right, so I will share my screen with you. All right, I'm going to share a screen with you, and this is it. Starting from the very first need here, discussing. Could you please help me turn off your mic for now? Okay, good. Now, activating the signs of effective sales prospecting. If you are joining me for the very first time, my name is Timothy Anietie, and I am the founder and lead strategist and trainer of For Marketing Lab HQ. I'm the founder of Marketing Lab HQ, and basically, we are a technology and marketing agency. We train companies, sales, and marketing team, and then we consult for companies to also help them structure their sales and marketing team in an effective way. Also, we offer technology solutions that helps them drive their business in a more structured way, especially in the area of sales and marketing. All right, so going straight to the point, what is prospecting? Everyone would understand that when we talk about activating, we are actually referring to about taking up something, or more like triggering something into an action. All right. So, and then when we are talking about signs, everyone would immediately assume that it is about what technology or scientific world can help in achieving in when it comes to sales prospecting. You may not be wrong, but in general, what's really prospecting most importantly when it comes to it being an effective one? All right. So, my name is Timothy Anietie. I have already told you that. So, going straight, what is sales prospecting? I found out an interesting definition of sales prospecting from Gartner. All right. So, basically, prospecting is just a means, the first stage, all right, in which your sales process begins. So according to Gartner, it simply says prospecting is the first step of the sales process, which involves identifying and contacting potential customers. The goal of prospecting is to create a database of likely customers. Now, if you check the definition, it captures some important elements. It is not just it is not just about trying to reach out to people. It is not just about trying to sell. It is not just about making posts. It is not just about making broadcasts. It simply handles some important elements in that definition. It says that one, it is a step, the first step, all right, in sales process. The first step in sales process. And then the second thing it says there is that it involves identifying and contacting potential customers. Now, simply means that you are not seeking everyone's attention. You are not looking for everyone's attention. That's actually what it is telling you. It's not, you are not looking for everyone's attention. All right. So, when you are prospecting in an effective way, there are elements that must be actively identified. All right. The first thing is identifying the right people that you are going to be serving your offer to. The second thing is being able to contact them. So when you've identified them, you'll be able to identify where they are, who they are, what they do, and how you can reach them. All right. Identifying and contacting potential customers. All right. So the goal of prospecting is to create database of likely customers, not just database of people, database of likely customers. All right. So the goal is to create database of likely customers, not just database of people. No. The goal of this is not to create database of so many people in your list. The goal is to create database of likely customers. That is, whoever you are going to be capturing must be potential buyer, not just someone who just have interest. All right. So the simple definition of prospecting simply tells us that it is the first step to sell in your sales process. All right, which involves identifying and contacting potential customers. All right, and the goal of prospecting is to create a database of likely customers. All right, so basically, I've spent time to explain that for those that have just joined us. All right, it simply means that prospecting is not just about reaching out to just anyone and everyone. No, prospecting, when it comes to an effective way, and we are actually talking about the signs of effective sales prospecting, how we can activate the signs of effective sales prospecting, right? So basically, in this manner, what we ought to understand is that there are people and there are prospects. All right. And then you do not need the people, you need the prospects. Excuse me. You do not just need the people, you need prospects. And then who are the prospects? Potential buyers. Does that make sense to anybody? I hope everyone is hearing me. To those that have just joined us, are you hearing me? Is my sound clear enough? All right. So, what is the signs of activating effective prospecting? I actually do not know what most of us have been involved with in the in the last few weeks or since the beginning of the year. Let's put it that way. Since the beginning of the year, what you've been the process you have been using in prospecting. All right. So basically, when we are talking about activating the signs of effective sales prospecting, all right, of course, prospecting are in different ways. We have the prospecting that has to do it with something very different from sales prospecting. But in this particular case, we are focused on sales prospecting. All right. From the definition we got from Gartner, you already saw that sales prospecting, involves those elements that we listed. All right. Identifying and contacting potential customers. All right. Not just everyone, not just anyone, but potential customers. Your first step. All right. So, but in sales, it's just about numbers. All right. So when we are talking about numbers, the definition of prospecting has already put an end to who you are supposed to be targeting. All right. Are they just everyone in Lagos? Are you just targeting everyone in Nigeria? So, in terms of identifying and targeting who are really the people that you should serve your offer to, all right, the signs of prospecting, remember, not just the signs of effective prospecting. All right, because if you are going to do just a normal prospecting, you can target everyone, and what you're going to be getting is interest. All right, but when you apply the science for effective prospecting, you are going to understand that aside from getting the numbers, you are going to get quality. All right, aside from getting the numbers, you are going to get quality. All right, so when we are talking about prospecting, when we are talking about sales, you understand that it's a game of number. The more people you talk to, the more your chances of getting to, make quality sales as well. But then, how do you identify the right people to talk to so that your process can be effective? That's why we are here to talk about the science that helps us in identifying that. All right, are we good? For those that have just joined us, welcome. You've not missed much. We are still at the introductory stage. Now, usually, this is actually a module in our paid session. All right, I just picked out this module. This particular module is one of the modules that is included in over 10 modules in our paid session. All right, it's more like an introductory pitch session. All right, that we do. Most times we do the physical, but today we decided to do it virtual. All right, so we can give also to people who are busy and cannot meet our physical pitch introductory session. All right, so basically, we've only done the definition of prospecting, and then here is the second stage on this slide. You've not missed much, so pay attention. You are going to gain much, and if you have questions to ask, you are going to be given the opportunity to do so. But basically, this is how to activate the signs for effective sales prospecting. All right, so before you roll out for any of your sales prospecting efforts, as long as you do not want to get that sound, that means that you have been cancelled. All right, so for most of us who have spent time watching some shows that has to do with this sound, you will understand how traumatic it is. But is it bad to get a no? Absolutely no. I love no. I have received no a couple of times. As a matter of fact, the last no that I received was 3 weeks ago, and it actually meant much to me. All right, so I went for a pitch session for a particular client who had contacted us. We had actually concluded on everything. I blame myself. I was at fault. Yeah, that's actually how I lost that project. So basically, most of us actually may do this same mistake. Listen to me. Let me share my own story with you. So I went to that particular client's office somewhere around Lekki Phase 2. And then we had a very good meeting. And at the end of the day, we they requested for an invoice which I served, and then the payment was supposed to be made, and I left. I made a big mistake. And this is what you should pay attention to when you are prospecting, because until you have been paid, you are still prospecting. Until you have been paid, you are still prospecting. You've not closed that client yet. And I relaxed in the moment the invoice was sent. I felt as though I have closed that client. It is one of the mistakes we make in prospecting. Do not relax until you have closed. Until you have received payment, you have not closed. All right. Okay. You will receive the payment in another 3 hours. You are still prospecting. You've not closed. So I left. I felt relaxed. As a matter of fact, we celebrated myself and my team. We called. I reached out to the office. I called my team. And look, these particular clients, we've closed them. So we have to get to work. We have to do this for them. We have to do this for them. And then 2 hours after, I was still driving back home to my base. 2 hours after, I was like, I got a call from the manager, and they were like, don't you think your offer is too expensive? I was laid aback. Expensive? We've concluded. All right, so what happened? What was the mistake I made? Now, oftentimes, some of us spend the bulk of our time selling products instead of selling the state of mind, instead of selling values. While prospecting, stop selling products. Do not sell products. Sell state of mind. All right. So you need to know about the sales of state of mind instead of products. So avoid spending the bulk of your time trying to sell what you think the clients need. 90% of the time, people do not buy what they need, they buy what they want. And oftentimes, it is not what you want to offer them, it is what they want. So basically, you have to sell state of mind instead of your product. When prospecting in your sales communication, you have to be able to sell the client's state of mind, not your own state of mind at all. It must not be your own state of mind. Sell the client's state of mind, not yours. All right. So, secondly, the industry that your prospects are in, you must understand the peculiarity of that industry. Now, this is it. I tell people because I know most of the people that are here are those from the real estate industry. One of the things you must understand here is that one of the things you must understand here is that primarily your prospects, as long as you have been able to identify those with buying capacity, your prospects are not interested in what you are selling. They are interested in what their benefit is in what you are selling. All right, in their industry, when you are trying to communicate to any of your prospects, depending on the industry you've identified, this is why prospecting generally is a disadvantage. You have to know that, okay, for instance, if you are targeting people in an oil firm, you have to let them see the negative impact in what they are doing without investing in properties. You have to let them see why their delay in investing in properties may cost them regret in the future. Because reason is that oil is sinking, so many things are happening. So you just have to find out. I'm just using a particular industry to speak to you now. You have to find out the disadvantage in saving money while working in that industry without investing in real estate, and you have to let them see what the advantages in selling in investing in real estate industry holds for them in about, say, 5 to 10 years, rather than spending that money in other areas. So they want to know that you know the peculiarity in where they work, all right, the business they do. Are you speaking from the expert point of view? All right. So when the definition of prospecting comes, it said not just everyone, but identifying people who are likely going to be your clients. So what it simply meant was you being able to know their state of mind, their work, their income capacity, and then help them prospect them in a way that it sit well with their state of mind. It's not about you. It has never been about you. But the mistake most of us make is that we always want to make it about us. We sell as though we are selling to ourselves. No. Primarily, you are not selling to yourself. You have to identify them and sell to them. All right. When selling, you have to sell as though you are selling to an external person whose mind is projecting differently. Okay, so basically, the third thing is what interests them. Sorry, the role of the person in where they work, all right? And the fourth thing is what interests them, all right? So, what really do they want? Forget about the need. Forget about telling them real estate is the new oil. Now, forget about what you think they need. At this point, what do you think they want? What an average prospect that we are looking out for want is actually not a property. It's actually not a land. It's not a building. What an average person trying to do in about 10, projecting into the future in about 10, 20 years' time is about total freedom from school fees demand, something that would help them fund all those demands. They have a particular projected lifestyle. What would help them live that lifestyle? This is why people get into Ponzi. This is why people will give someone else's money to trade for them with an expectation that, yeah, you can earn between 10 to 30% commission when we trade with your money. They did not do that because they didn't do that because they wanted to make that investment. They did that because they projected the future of that investment. To them, in another 10 years, if I keep receiving every month like this, in another 10 to 20 years, I will be totally free. My children will have this lifestyle, I will have this lifestyle. So, what you are supposed to sell to them is lifestyle, not what you want. not what you think they need, what they want. All right, their lifestyle projected into the future, what their mind is projecting. All right, so look out for that. You have to be able to speak what they want to hear. Okay, so basically, if in your effort to sell you keep pushing your product, you will keep hearing no. All right, in your effort, sell your values the more and your state of mind. So this is the problem with real estate people, most importantly the realtors. And I've spoken with a couple of developers that we have worked with, the developers that we have consulted for. One of the things I usually tell them is, look, the realtors that you send out to sell your properties for you, they have one simple problem. The simple problem is that you are giving them the same thing every other company is giving out. Can you do something different? All right. Now, how about selling incentives rather than selling properties? Have you seen the fact that people buy more incentive than properties? And this is one of the things you should do as a realtor and as a developer, if you are one here. When you have that property in mind to reach out to start selling, forget about the design, forget about this the sales content that the real estate company that you are selling for has given you. Now sit back with the new knowledge you have, draft out your own sales pitch, transform the design into what you think the market need. All right, it's not, forget about what the real estate company gave you. They gave you that based on their projection, their projection. They are more relaxed in the company. You are more like their sales force. It is what it is. Yeah. You are their sales force selling to gain commission. They are waiting for you to come back with the commission that you are going to sell. Now, when you come back, they are going to appreciate you with the commission, but all effort are on you. Now, what should you do? The fight is between you and your prospect. So sit back and sell incentive rather than selling properties. What are the incentive? Now this is it. 90% of those prospecting are selling lands. 90% of those that are prospecting are selling properties. Now come in, sell advice. Become a financial advisor to your client and then prospect as such. What do I mean by becoming a financial advisor? For instance, if you are selling for XYZ property and then the property is about 75 750,000 for an instance, and then you know the location, you know why that property will appreciate. What is expected of you is not to go on a video or carry your flyer and distribute 450 instead of 1.5 million as cancelled on the flyer. No. Now this is it. The flyer can be redesigned in a way that it tells your audience, your prospect, that look, if you give me 750,000 naira to put in this property today, concentrate on building your business and work. The moment you want to scale your business in the next 3 years, I can guarantee you that if you come back to me in 3 years' time with the 750,000 you've given me for this property and with the document you have saved for you, in 3 years' time, you would have nothing less than 3 million naira to scale your business. All right? In 3 years' time, if you are targeting, remember, I don't know if you joined the last class, I have told you that we have four different categories of people that buy properties. All right, so I'm saying this for the first class of people, those in business, which are the future projectors and the flippers. All right, so then you have given them an insight into putting in money instead of going to Ponzi, but they are also projecting a mindset of being able to generate an immediate loan, kind of, in about 3 years to grow their business. So now that you have 750,000 and you know that your business is still growing, putting the 750,000 naira in your business may not give you much at the moment. But if you put in as much as 3 million in the next 3 years, it may give your business a good boost. Now, give me the 750,000 you have now instead of you waiting to keep saving till you are able to save up to 3 million. And then I will help you invest in a secured investment, and then I will program it for you in about 3 years' time. You are going to have this, you are going to have this. So now what have you done? You have presented yourself not as a land seller, not as a house seller. You have projected yourself as one who is there to help them transform their lives. This is primarily what they are projecting in their mind. They don't want to buy land, they want to transform life. Yeah. They are not looking for land, they want to look for a life of ease. They don't want to be disturbed by landlord in the future. They don't want to run helter skelter looking for house rent in another 10 years when they are also looking for students school fees. So these are the things that their mind is projecting, and these are your values. You are not selling properties, you are not selling skincare. For those from a different industry here, you are not selling skincare. For those in consulting, you are not selling training. You are selling, for instance, now as you are here, I'm not selling you training. What I am selling to you is a new knowledge that will help you increase your sales values, that will help you increase your business values, that will help you increase your sales worth. And then this is transformational. Instead of me selling you training, I am going to continually sell you. I'm going to continually sell you what I call my value. So that you should also sell in your own property. All right, in your own products. If you are in skincare area, irrespective of what you are selling, you are not, if it is skincare, you are not selling oil, you are not selling cream, you are selling glow. For instance, very many people, especially the female gender, do not want to age faster. So you are selling them the ability to grow with their age, not growing above their age. As a matter of fact, they want to look younger. And then you are able to help them sell a better look. All right, there is a particular sales copy I wrote a few years back for sales for people in skincare, and it read, "Your husband is not proud of your look, but he is unable to tell you." That sales copy generated so many reactions. All right, a lot of people reacted to things. The letter heading simply will bring up curiosity. The second one will bring up attack. They will attack me. It's not true. My husband is proud. He always told me that he's proud of me and all that. And they will come to attack me. Why would you say that? You are talking down on a woman. So that was the essence. When you are writing two things, controversy sells. All right. So I wanted to drive curiosity and controversy. All right. So people were actually forced to read the remaining part of the content, which eventually drew them to where I placed a call to action on the product. All right, and let them understand that why, if you think your husband is proud of your look, why didn't he marry someone 10 years older than him, especially in Africa and Nigeria specifically, because that's where the product was meant for. All right, you need to understand why. So I just brought in all those. Think you are either 5 or 7 years or even 3 years younger than your husband. Do you think he did not intentionally marry someone younger? Why then do you want to grow older than him, facially and otherwise? So that drew curiosity a whole lot. And then the client that I wrote that for sold massively. All right. I'm just giving you excerpt though. But then what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to tell you is that what you are selling is not land, it's not house. You are selling values, you are selling state of mind. All right, if you keep selling value, if you keep selling land and property, you keep hearing that you are just selling an excessively expensive land and property. All right, so people will keep complaining about it's too expensive. Is it not in Ekpe? Is it not in Ibeju? Why is it 6 million in Ibeju Lekki? in Ekpe. They are not seeing what you are supposed to project them. For instance, in the estate you are selling, there is a university coming up. In the estate you are selling, there are neighboring estate opened, job opportunities, people that will be getting to rent the apartment if they intend to rent anyone out, an opened industry location, the next Lagos port, the next airport, and all that. It's not just about you selling airport and selling Lagos port. It's about you being able to transform that message into value. Now look at it. If you buy a land in a place that a new airport is being built, a new port authority is being built, it simply tells you that you are buying into an industry packed environment, in the sense that in about 10 to 15 years from now, there will be no land in that location at all. And it simply means that when they are looking for top investment owners in Lagos State, you will be number one, because you'll be owning a property worth over 300 million. Take for instance the main Lekki phase 1 and 2 at the moment. 20 years from now, what was it? Can you price a land in that location? What makes the difference? The difference is not the property. The difference is in the value of the location. And that's why we are pitching this location to you. We are not selling you property, we are not selling you land. No. What we are selling to you is the uniqueness of this location. You can buy land in anywhere, but on this particular spot that we are selling for you, is just few parcels left. And what we are having is that we are buying into the future. You are not just buying a parcel of land. Even if you can buy 300 square meter, what you are buying is that you have bought Lagos, you have bought the future. If you have children, you have secured them for life, because your property of 2 million naira today will transform into 200 million worth in another 10 to 15 years. I'm not just trying to tell you this from this training. What I've said is what you should integrate into your sales communication. Stop selling lands. Stop selling property. Stop selling buildings. Stop selling land and building. All right. Start selling value. Start communicating the values that you are selling. All right. Let them see the values of what you are selling. All right. Now, basically, excuse me. In prospecting, 90% of realtors I have met of recent have been acquiring mistaken leads. Are we still together? You are too quiet. You're too quiet for me. Are we together? Please unmute. Say something to me. All right. So does it make sense so far? Are you getting something out of this so far? All right. So now I was talking about mistaken leads. When we started this, we talked about how the definition of prospecting words, and it picked unique elements. And then most realtors have actually been caught in a web of mistaken leads. That is, when you are advertising, I've said this a couple of times, when you are prospecting and you are running paid ad, what you should avoid is ad to messenger. You are going to be acquiring mistaken leads. Even WhatsApp, yeah, it's the same thing. Add to WhatsApp as well, you're going to be acquiring mistaken leads, because Facebook and Instagram algorithm would serve your ad to people who have the um, history of clicking on such ad, history of clicking on WhatsApp or Messenger ad, not necessarily history of clicking on property kind of ad. That's what the algorithm does. Now, if you are not able to, okay, thank you, Mr. Anthony. The lecture is very impactful. Thank you. If you are not able to technically filter your audience in a way that you will be able to serve to only the right people, that is, people who can afford property, then you are already doing yourself a lot of disadvantage. So, what do I mean by mistaken leads? Mistaken leads are those that are just scrolling through the social media or any part of the internet, and then they mistakenly just hit on your link. And then you know, if you run an ad to WhatsApp, once they mistakenly click, there is an automated message that will just ask them, can I find out more information? And then it's already showing, and you may know they will just click send, and then you respond to them. And even when you call them and try to talk about the property, they will tell you, I can't remember ever, clicking on that. Has it happened to anybody before? You try to contact someone that clicked on your ad and he doesn't even remember that he clicked. Has it happened to anyone? Let me know from your response. Has it happened to any of you before? All right, does that mean no one has experienced that? Are you hearing me at all? Okay. Okay, so it happens. This is why pre-qualifying your leads while prospecting is one of the most impactful way to be able to serve your ad to the right people. All right. So basically, I am interested simply means two things when you are prospecting. You did not convince me with what I stand to gain. All right. So when you are acquiring leads and then you have made a mistake in acquiring the wrong lead, two things are involved. The primary one is it may be a lead that can't afford your product. All right. Because he didn't plan to click it, he just clicked it mistakenly and got to you. And then the second thing is that you probably in during your sales communication you did not do your homework right, you were unable to convince them, and then or they do not trust you enough to go ahead to buy from you. And this is why when you are prospecting, there are tools and there are processes. You must follow through all the important elements in your sales closing process. All right, so what do I mean? For instance, you have just acquired someone today, and then the next thing is you want to sell a land to the person. You have not been able to establish selling a value to the person instead of land. All right. So basically, there are thousands of other people that are also approaching and targeting these people to sell land to them or completely build building. And you know, people are buying buildings every day. People are buying lands every day. Forget the stereotype that is going on the internet that there is no money in the economy, there is no money here, there is no money there. People are buying lands every day. People are buying built property every day. One of my clients sold a 70 million what 70 million of sales rather in January, and January was referred to as the most difficult month, right? He made about 70 million sales in January, a realtor, not a developer, a realtor. All right, and then what does it mean? It simply means that you must know who your ideal buyers are, where they are, and how you can reach them. And then the third thing you must do importantly is when you have known this, what are you going to tell them? Aside from what every other person has been telling them, what are you going to tell them differently? All right. So avoid the mistake of being like everyone else and avoid getting people who can't afford your product. Be able to appear to only those who can afford your product. Interest means nothing when there is no capacity. All right, I've said that a couple of times. Now this is it. The most important thing you will do for yourself when prospecting effectively is when you are able to position in values instead of prospecting. And you may say, I am contradicting myself because I said activating the signs of effective prospecting, and now I am talking about positioning. What are the differences in positioning and prospecting? Now look at it. 99% of the time, those who contacted you by themselves will buy rather than those whom you contacted. Does that make sense? 99% of the time, those who contacted you by themselves will buy faster than those whom you contacted by yourself. Does that make sense to any of you? Now, this is what I mean. When you are able to position yourself, it simply means that you are going to be identified. Two things. Positioning yourself, you are building authority. Positioning yourself, you are establishing visibility. Positioning yourself, you are being able to project yourself as someone they need, not you going in search of people. Now, this is how it is. You are still prospecting, but in this particular aspect, you are prospecting in values. All right, this is where the educational based marketing becomes a thing in your sales processes. Now we have about three unique P's that handle this for you. When you are positioning, you are publishing. When you are positioning, you are creating publicity. All right, and then when you are, okay, let me explain the three P's. The first one is publishing. Now you have seen that in publishing, oftentimes people who come to you will come to you because of what you have served out there. Check out the client that I said made about 70 million in sales in January did not make that sales in art. Yes, he did not run Facebook ad. He did not run Instagram ad. He did not run Google ads. But he made 70 million in sales in the month of January. Actually, 76 million in sales in the month of January. He is a realtor, not a developer. He is a realtor. So, what did he do? He positioned. Most of you here are trying to sell to Nigerians in diaspora. Nigerians in diaspora are people who come to those who are positioned to receive them. So, what do? You publish. All right? When you publish, what do you publish? Now, most of the time, 90% of those who are doing realtors are publishing adverts. Sales adverts. And psychologically, humans do not like to be sold to, but humans still buy every day. So, what are you supposed to do as one who is trying to position yourself while waiting for your client, for your prospect to identify you? It's about you speaking out your values. It's about you creating maximum impact in your industry. All right. So most of you do not actually understand that if you stay actively on social media, publishing every day, you are positioning. What are you publishing? You are not publishing only call to action for sales. So, what are you going to be publishing? You are going to be publishing based on your knowledge. You are publishing about identifying unique properties. You are publishing about identifying secure properties. You are publishing about how to analyze property with unique metrics. This is your industry. You know better than I do when it comes to property. All right. You are going to bring in the property, bisect them. Now, go by the area of fears. What are people afraid of when they think of investing in real estate? What are their fears? Now, sit back and give it back to them. Do you know what you've done? If I come and I'm seeing someone that is speaking my fears, you are appearing like a prophet who has been able to identify what people are going through in their mind, what is going through in the mind of the people, and then you are telling them what they are thinking. And then they are getting that psychologically they will see you as a prophet in their life, so they will not only respect you as an authority in real estate, they will trust you and they will want to do business with you. And once someone has trusted you and sees you as an authority, except they cannot afford it. That will be the only reason they will not do business with you. But as long as they can afford you, as long as they can do business with you, they will definitely pay you for that property. You won't talk much. Now you are only suffering to speak so much and try to convert sales so much because you are the one always reaching out to them first. You are the one always being the one to get in touch with them. They are not the one getting to you because you've not positioned. Imagine your ad going out and then you are educating Nigerians in diaspora on five important industries that Nigerians in diaspora are investing in back home. And then the number one is real estate. And then when you talked about the real estate, knowing that that is your industry, you spend bulk of your time. In fact, 90% of the write-up on that list will be for the real estate because you know that is your interest. You want them to invest. And then you will analyze everything from A to Z, where the people are investing, why they are investing, what they are projecting rather, the questions they ask when they are investing in that location, and then what the future holds about those investing in that location, and why the people whom you are reaching out to should also be sure that they come to that location and get a property as well. Now, what have you done? You have silenced the voice of anyone else that will come through for them. They have already seen that you have helped them analyze everything that they needed to know about investing in Lagos, investing in that particular location, maybe Ekpe, maybe any other location in Lagos. You have spent time to do that, and then at the call to action, you can reach me so that I can help you further on any challenges you may have. And don't forget, before you invest in any property, these are the questions you must ask. Bullet them. One, two, three, four. These are the documents you must look out for. Once you see a property that is with this document, please don't buy. What have you done? You have sent yourself out to them that look, even if I am the one presenting this document to you for this property, don't buy this property. They would automatically trust you, knowing that this person is not desperate to get money from me. He is even trying to guide me from getting duped. Now, this has happened to me. We have a call session with clients before we sign up for consulting service for any company. So during the call session, we would advise the client, tell the client all that, and we at the end of the day, I will tell the client, even if you're not working with us, for any consultant that will work with you, make sure that the consultant is able to identify this about your business, is able to identify this, and is able to help you analyze this, is able to help you align this rightly. They will not go. They will not go. Once you have been able to help them do all that, what have you done? You have not only projected yourself as the Messiah, and then the Messiah that you have presented yourself as, and then you are asking them, well, if you wish to accept me as your savior, you can. If you don't wish to, you are allowed to go to a different option, but don't regret at the afterlife. So that's actually what you've been able to do. All right. So you have been able to tell them these are the things you should know. But if you still want to have strong head to go and buy properties from someone else, don't cry when they dupe you. So in your communication, you have been able to establish yourself as an authority. They will not only respect you, they will see you as one who has their interests. This is why when you are selling, don't sell as though you are selling for yourself. You are selling for the client, right? Sell for the client first. All right? Are we together? Sell for the client first. Okay, so secondly, here, You must be able to stand exclusively. You must be able to stand exclusively. Be exclusive. All right? Look at this. People do not want those who are like everyone else. People do not like those who speak the same language. People do not like those who are projecting like everyone else. They see the same art every day. Imagine imagine someone seeing a different art. Are we still connecting? Okay, all right. So imagine someone seeing the same art about properties. And one of the things you need to know is that, right, the property you are selling presently, there are about hundreds of other realtors selling the same property. And you all are running the same ad. You are running the same campaign. You are targeting the same set of audience, and then you are imagining what the same audience will be thinking. Today I'm seeing art from um, um, Madam Deborah Osagi for this same property, XYZ property. Tomorrow, Suitgate is doing the same thing, the same property. And then Mr. Felix is doing the same thing, the same property. And Mr. Anthony, the same property. And then one of the things that will be crossing their mind will be that, look, is there no other person that actually understands better? All right, this is why when you decide to go the reverse way, it simply means that you are now coming in selling values while others are selling lands. So be different in your prospecting effort, be different, sell differently, project differently, come up and educate instead of being desperate for sale. While others are dragging prospect, attract. All right, there are two different things: attracting prospect and dragging prospect. When you attract prospect, you sell faster. When you drag, they will obviously disengage your hand. And this is why, after a couple of time, when people are tired of you calling them, they will just tell you, oftentimes when you hear I'll get back to you, it is just a no. Oftentimes, I didn't say all the time. There are rare occasions where they will come back. But in most cases, when you hear I'll get back to you, it's a lost. You have lost them on many occasions. All right, so project differently, be different, stand out. Just don't build your sales communication on desperation. Build your sales communication on exclusivity. All right, let them see you as one who is just one in a line, the only one in the industry that does what you do. Yeah, let them see you as one who is the most outstanding. There is no one else that knows this better than you do. There is no one else that can do this better than you do. All right, there is no one else that offers this value better than you do. All right, and then you don't just say it, you show it. That is why in sales you demonstrate more than you talk, more than you explain. You demonstrate more than you explain. We'll get to that. I'll explain that further. All right. All right, so while we still go further, this is just a paid training that is coming up on the 25th of this month. It's a physical training. All right, if we would like, you should, not if you would like to. If you are not yet registered, you should be a part of the training. All right, so the numbers are there to call. You've already seen it in the group. All right, discount is still much available. You can reach out to us and you can get a discount. So right now, don't do all the talking. This is where the problem is. We just want to talk. The land is few meters from Dangote's refinery. How many of you have used that pitch, that particular sentence in your pitch? It's just few meters from Dangote's refinery. How many of you have used it? Please don't. If you have not used it, better don't. Nobody wants to live closer to a refinery. Nobody also wants to own a property closer to a refinery. There is always a disaster looming around the environment, and the appreciative measures are always not that good, except the company wants to build another industry, and oftentimes they usually forcefully acquire the properties rather than buying it. And the people know this. They know the negative side of this. So when prospecting, forget Dangote refinery, what you should prospect with is that you are buying into an industrialized environment, meaning that it gives you an opportunity to either resell your property or build it for the numerous workforce that will be looking for apartment to rent, or you are going to be living within a developed environment, and also the place is projected to become a GRA, all right, whereby industry experts, most importantly the foreign experts, will be accommodated. And imagine you owning a property in an estate that foreign experts are accommodated. It simply gives you that leverage beyond, aside the security, you are going to have all round estate incentives. Yeah, security will be there. Obviously, police stations are always built closer to the place. All right, water are always made available. All right, transportation are always made easier in such environment. The infrastructures are always very well developed. The roads and power supplies are always on a standby. Now, these are things you should sell rather than Dangote refinery, rather than trying to sell them negativity that the land attracts. Sell them the positive side of it. Right? Sell them, drafting your sales communication is beyond just waking up and trying to make sales. No. In sales, you do not do spontaneous action. No, you do not do spontaneous action. You have to plan, strategize, and implement effectively. Otherwise, you are going to hit a rock. All right? There is nothing like God forbid. There's nothing like God forbid in this. 90% of those who succeed in sales are not succeeding because of luck. Yeah. They are not succeeding because of luck. They are succeeding because they are applying principles. They are succeeding because they are applying the necessary processes. They are following through all the processes and they are implementing them rightly. All right. So, doing this will not only impact your sales, it will give you higher leverage. Okay. So, demonstrate instead of explaining. I said this. Demonstrate instead of explaining. When you are carrying out your sales processes, listen more. Listen more to your prospect. Let them know what they want. Don't do all the talking. Your most important asset in in sales, or in value-based selling rather, is your ability to listen to your customers. When you listen to them, you get to know what they want, not what you want to sell. You get to know what they want. For instance, I have in my sales closing, there's a module that talks about sales closing in this package. Of course, what we do in the paid training, it talks about what when you listen to your prospect, you sell them what they want, not what you want to sell. For instance, you are meeting different categories of people who are buying real estate. So one of the things you must consider when selling to them is the fact that, one, you must know intentionally what these people are looking out for. Are you buying a property to resell? Are you trying to buy a property that you are going to develop in the future? Are you buying to build an estate? Are you buying to build a warehouse? Are you buying to build an office? So, what is the essence of your investment in real estate? You need to know what they are investing for. All right, not what you want to sell to them. You shouldn't always be about you. It's not even, it has never been about you. All right. So pay more attention to them. That would help you speak to their subconsciousness. All right. To help you speak the language that they want to hear. All right, it will place you in the same frequency with their thought pattern. Okay, so demonstrate instead of selling. Look at this. When they ask you, when you're about to project, take your time. This is why you need to attend practical classes so that you learn how to demonstrate yourselves, especially as a realtor. What you would do is that you would take the environment and then present the environment that you are selling. And then you will present the property in the middle, and then around it you will present all the necessary things that will be coming up in the environment. Important schools, are there universities coming up there? Polytechnic coming up there? Are there colleges? Are there secondary schools? Important secondary schools? Are there hospitals that is attracted to that area? What are the already built industries in the environment? How many accesses do the road gives? I mean, the road give rather. If you buy into that property and you live in that environment, how many locations can you get into? How can you divert? What are the opportunities? Is there water movement, land movement? Is there airport, easy access to airport? What are the opportunities in this environment? Demonstrate them. Don't just explain. Demonstrate. Let them see where the property is situated and then where the other opportunities are in. That is, whatever they intend to do with the property, they are of higher advantage. All right, they will now believe that your metrics telling them that if they buy the property, it will be about 1,000% increase in about 5 to 10 years. They will believe you not because you said so, but because you demonstrated so. All right, always demonstrate instead of explaining. Now, what is the signs that comes with thinking the way your prospects think? All right, get into the same thought frequency with your prospect. It happens and it works very effectively. This has worked a couple of times. Now, let me ask you: Has there been a time? Has there been a time in you were thinking about someone and suddenly the person sent you a message or the person called and you are like, oh wow, I just thought of you, what a coincidence? Has it happened to you before? Has it happened to anyone? I believe it has. Now, yeah, you were just thinking about someone, and then there is a science behind it. It works for every other thing. It will work for your prospect. In this part of the world, where what it will be attributed to will be supernatural. Now, if your prospect thinks about you, maybe you had inconclusive conversation with your prospect, and then you have a feeling that your prospect may be thinking of you. The moment you have that feeling, send a message or call. And then you realize that the moment they were thinking of you and you called in that particular moment, in this part of the world, it will not be regarded as science. It will be regarded as supernatural occurrence. They will be, in their mind, they will be, for them to call me when I was thinking of them, it simply means that God is telling me something about this particular person. I think I should go ahead with him or her. So, in a part of the world, it will be placed as a supernatural occurrence and it works to your advantage, right? So, you must understand how to think in the same frequency with your prospect. The science is in establishing the immediate contact the moment you feel it. All right. Once you wake up, even if you just got up at midnight and that client crosses your mind, send that message immediately. The client has equally thought about you. It has happened. Now, it happened 2 days ago. I had a client actually rejected our service on the basis that we were too expensive. Yeah, it was our fault. We did not sell the value enough. Yeah, we did not sell the value enough. So I took the blame. I went back. I did not ignore the client, the decision maker in the company. I did not ignore him. So what I did was I made sure that I stayed active in his front. He was actively reading my WhatsApp status, and that was an advantage to me to start with. Secondly, I looked out for the kind of places he visits. All right, and what I did was I also visited, there was a training he attended. I saw that he shared about that training, days to the training. And I looked up for the training and I paid to attend the same training. And then we met at the training and we talk. Oh, Mr. Timothy, how are you? I'm saying fine. That our discussion. Okay, well, even though you're actually a bit you're slightly expensive, but then later on we'll talk about it. The conversation that has been abandoned has been reactivated. And then I shared a link to one of my videos and he clicked, watched it. He called me that night after the training and said, well, let's meet in the office on Wednesday. It was on a Saturday. Let's meet at the office on Wednesday. And I went to the office. I left the office with a sealed deal. All right. So what do I mean? Once your client is thinking of you and you have the signal in your system, that is, when you wake up and think of someone, there is a probability, there is a high percentage of probability that they are also thinking of you. All right. When we were growing up, it happened that when we hit our legs, we would say, someone just mentioned your name. Growing up, we used to think that way, and oftentimes it used to happen, but then in the science of it, apply it in yourselves. When you are sitting, you think of a particular client, reach out to that client and you'll be shocked he was also thinking of you. And then they will apply it to the supernatural, and then the deal will be sealed. All right. Think in the same frequency with your client. Think in the same frequency with your client, and you wouldn't always miss out at all. You wouldn't always miss out at all. All right. So the next thing is positioning for a yes. And that's going to be the last thing we are going to be discussing on this module, positioning for a yes. All right. So it's a yes. That's where the celebration comes. Whenever someone says that to you three times in your prospecting journey, trust me, you have sealed it. Whenever someone tells you a yes in your prospecting journey, you have sealed it. And if you apply, if you apply what I have just done in this module from the beginning to the end now, trust me, that will always be your result 50% of the time, because I don't want to ever exaggerate it. If you get 50% result in every of your effort, it is a win. Yeah, it's a win. So basically, we just decided to pick the module one and get up on this particular session with you. And I actually believe that you should come for the physical training so you can have deeper understanding on how to apply everything we have shared in module one. Trust me, the training is super packed. You don't want to miss it. I know we are actually in a slightly difficult period because of the election. But if you reach out to me after this training, I'm going to give you a very good discount that you can access and get into that training. So tell me, do you have a question? Go ahead and ask. Go ahead and ask. Unmute, please. Let me know. Unmute and ask your question, please. Unmute and ask. Unmute and ask your question. No question. You're welcome. Please go ahead. Oh yeah, no, I cannot do that here. I cannot do that here. Reason is that for you to reach out means that your interest is strong and you deserve the discount. So that's one of the prerequisites. Reaching out simply assures that, yeah, your interest is strong and then you really deserve the discounts, and then you will be granted that discount. Yeah. All right. So no question. Now tell me, did it was it worth your time? Rather, was it worth your time? Did you gain any value? Did you enjoy the training? Awesome. Awesome. Come again, Mister. Come again, please. All right. Okay. Not to. All right. Not to worry. Not to worry. What you do, it will be. Yes, yes. You have the recorded version. It will be uploaded to YouTube, so I will share the link. Yeah, you have the recorded version. All right. Thank you for connecting. And then we are going to meet. For those who want to attend the physical training, just send a message to me on WhatsApp directly after this class. I'll give you a good discount. As long as you attended this training tonight, I'll give you a very good discount. Trust me. I'll give you a good discount. I understand the season. I want you to come in. It's on the 25th of March. 25th of March. Is on at Lekki Phase 1, the bunkers. Lekki Phase 1. 5th of March. Sorry, 25th of March. All right. So basically, the exact cost for the training is 75,000 naira here, but I'm going to do something for you that will give you access to be able to attend that training. I'm going to give you good discounts. Don't worry. Just send a message to me on WhatsApp, and we'll pick it up from there. So that's the prerequisite. Sending a message on WhatsApp to me is the prerequisite that you deserve the discounts. Yeah. All right. Thank you. See you. Bye.